Good afternoon, Mr. Gavin McCleavely. Did I get it right?
You got it right, almost. Keep trying.
Okay.
I'll do my coffee.
I'll do my
Cheers.
mate. How are you doing, Gavin? Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. I'm very well, mate. Yeah, I'm still at the office, working a little bit after the show, so I figure I'll just do it here because I've got a bit more of a professional background.
Good. If you do well, you may get hired, and I'll just... Yes. Oh, no, of course.
No, mate, I would not want to charge you. I think you're doing a fantastic job, so much appreciated.
Oh, that's not your prerogative. Hey, listen. Anyway, great weekend of rugby, right? We got
phenomenal, mate. I was absolutely blown away by the weekend, especially the Saturday. I've been extremely busy, as you can see by the bags under my eyes. There was
you always have them, though.
I know, but it just gets gradually worse and worse.
Okay.
But yeah, with all of the games on Saturday, a phenomenal weekend, and then there was all of the tryouts and combines on the Sunday as well. So it's been a fun-packed weekend, and I think we're basically wrapped up the season, other than the sevens and the state team stuff, the Jaguares. But yeah, really impressive weekend.
And the Florida Invitational. So let's, as we always do at the beginning, the first thing is to thank our sponsors that make this possible. Because, as you know, well, you don't know because you haven't done anything; you just showed up. But it is a lot of work to put all this together, all the graphics, getting all the pieces together, contacting the guests, it's
yeah, it's a full journalistic job that you've got going on, Charlie. And I think a lot of people are very impressed with what you're doing. But yeah, big thanks to Key Biscayne Rugby Rats for sponsoring. And then two very important people that are going to be on today: World Financial Group, Mr. Anthony Ballinger, and his good wife, Kerry Ballinger, who is in real estate. So they've both sponsored it. We thank you very much for those two.
Let's bring them in, because we like to have our sponsors live. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Ballinger.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Gavin. How are you?
Very good. Welcome, guys. How's it going? Everything good? You feeling all right after the weekend?
Huge smiles on our faces, as you can see.
Absolutely.
Still kind of on cloud nine. Want to give a big shout out to our club, Boca Raton. Of course, our U12s were state champs this year, U19s. I assist coaching as well on U14s with Coach Ray, and we were runners up. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way. It was a well-fought game, but can't win them all, I guess. Maybe next year's another year.
Absolutely. And Kerry, how are you? Do we get the party girl voice or no?
I'm a little bit still hoarse from screaming my head off, but yeah, we had an amazing weekend, and we're just really proud of our boys, and really happy to see their successes on the field.
Excellent stuff. And I just wanted to personally thank you guys for sponsoring this today with your real estate company and your life insurance financial stuff as well. It's really appreciated, and that goes a long way to helping Charlie put on this show and all of his filming and everything else that he does, which seems to be endless in the state of Florida. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Absolutely.
Tell us about your business, Anthony. World Financial Group.
So, Charlie, I've been an insurance broker for a little over 20 years, and we have two companies. One's EG of Florida, Insurance and Risk Management, where we help out businesses with liability, employee liability, professional liability, things of that nature, and basically homeowners, condo associations. We've been doing it a long time. And my wife and I recently, we just merged with another company called World Financial Group, which we're extremely happy to be with this company. Their crusade is no family left behind. So basically what we're doing is we're helping families through financial education, and we're showing them with life insurance that includes living benefits, helping families save for college planning, which is very important through 529 plans. We have plans that are called $1 Million Babies, where you can start saving with inside of an index universal life policy, tax advantages, IRAs, 401ks. And then this weekend, I just came back from a retreat. And now we just merged with one of the largest law firms in the business, and they're helping families with estate planning. So they made an announcement where they're doing living trusts and wills for less than $1,000 to families. And I learned something this weekend. It's called the Healthcare Directive, to where now that my son's turning 18 years old, he has to make his own decisions, whether it be medical or financial. So if he was ever injured in a car accident or in rugby. He ended up in the hospital, and they called me and asked me if I had this piece of paper. And I said, no, they make the decisions for him. So
if he can make them,
that's scary stuff. So talking to as many families as I can. We're also actually expanding in the state of Florida. So we're looking for people either part-time, full-time. It requires a license because it's a professional industry, but could be more excited about the company. And thank you very much for being on tonight.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Share this with you guys. Yeah.
Carrie, tell us a little bit about your real estate business. Which is probably very hot right now, right?
Yes. I'm staying very busy, and it's hard to talk to clients and explain to them exactly why I can't talk to them so much today. But yeah, I've been doing real estate for about 15 years now, and I work Palm Beach, Broward County, and Martin County, wherever the referrals bring me, and very happy helping people find their dream homes. So.
Excellent. Kerry, me and you need to speak afterwards because I'm looking to go and get a second home very soon. So you might be the person for the job.
You have my number.
Exactly.
I'm getting a commission out of this, Gavin. So that's great.
Good stuff.
And Kerry, of course, is the blonde lady from Boca taking pictures from the sideline every single game. Like the day that you're not there, people are going, hey, where is It's like this other lady for the men's team. What's her name? It's just for the Boca team. Mama, how do they call her?
The men's team?
Yeah.
Was it Sherry?
Yeah, Sherry.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry.
Yeah. It's like, you go to a game and she's not there. Oh, something's missing,
We miss her, for sure. We miss Sherry.
Well, you'll notice if Kerry's not there because the volume will go down a lot. She's got very.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Having said that, she was catching a lot of slack on that Cardinal Gibbons side this year. There were some words flying back and forth. I had to bring her down a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
not for me.
It was getting hot.
For me.
That was a great timeline.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't manage to stay and watch all of that, but I heard it got quite heated in the second half. So I need to catch up with the video and see what happened, how it all went down.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not on that video.
Oh, you probably are.
We can hear you. We can hear you for sure.
Charlie's microphones are very good, guys. They pick up everything. Trust me, I'm on the back end of it usually.
Well, guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate the sponsorship. It's always a little bit moving because, it means a lot for anybody to support this. And we've been pretty lucky because I have to say, when I ask, it's very rare that I get a no. It's always, pretty much, oh, yeah, sure. So I have to just keep asking. And I think this is a good thing we have. Remember, there was a coach. What coach was it? I think it was actually Matt. Was it Matt? I think
Matt.
Said that he moved to Florida and said, "Well, who has what state has a rugby podcast? Only Florida has." So I came to Florida.
That's it.
You guys did an amazing job, dude. You and Ross did an amazing job. It was awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Congrats.
We're super proud to be a part of the rugby family, and we have been for about 8 years now. We have about 4 more to go. So our oldest one's going to college, and our youngest one's just going into high school. So we'll be here for a while. I'll be screaming a little louder on the sidelines for the next 4 years. So.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you. So, Charlie, what have we got set up for the rest of this evening? What chaos have you got organized for us?
I have nothing organized.
Nothing? Excellent.
No,
just the way we like it.
Whoever shows up comes on. But we're going to bring in Coach Chris from Palm Beach Panthers. That I have to quickly apologize because I did tell them, hey, you guys need to come to the podcast. And then I forgot because I got caught up with, all this madness of the weekend. And luckily, he did not forget. So we're going to bring in Coach Chris from Houston, from Palm Beach. Coach, how are you doing?
Hey, Charlie. Hi, Gavin.
Hello, Houston, my old bud. How are you doing?
Good yourself, my mate.
You get older and older every time I see your face, man.
Absolutely, yeah. Living the good life.
That's it, mate. Excellent. Yeah. It's great to see you.
First of all, and Gavin, congratulations with your appointment as the coach there at
Thank you, mate.
at the University.
St. Thomas.
It's going to be a hugely successful program. So
Fingers crossed, if I do it right.
you will.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. And I guess to return that, congratulations on your run with the Palm Beach Panthers this year. Where are we at this point? What's the status? How far did you get?
Not this weekend, the past weekend, the weekend before, we went to Knoxville to play in the Southeast Regional Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And first day we played Savannah, who we didn't have a good track record against in the past, and managed to win 65-12 against them. And then on Sunday we played Charleston, who was basically the hot horse in the race there. And that was a nail biter. This is where most of the gray comes from. Yeah. So at halftime they were up 8-0, and then the boys just got fired. You know, it's amazing the fight back in the Palm Beach Panthers team. It's something to see. You know, and the courage, the believe in each other. That's something to behold. And so we won that game 22-8.
And that took you to the last weekend,
right? So that now we're on to the Super Regionals, which is in Houston next weekend, May 7th. So we'll be flying out coming Friday night, play Austin Blacks, who is the reigning national champions.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Yeah, that's going to be a dog fight. I mean, we play fairly similar style of rugby. They're obviously a much heavier team than we are, and they have a lot of players that came from, Premier Division, then Second Division, then now in the Third Division. So very capable players, well coached. So yeah, it's going to be a tough job, but the boys are up for it. They're well prepared. It's now just a matter of where the mental state is.
And where's sorry, Charlie? Where's your leadership in that group? And so you shouldn't have brought me on the show, Charlie.
I
talk too much.
I know. I asked for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brett Stubbs has been our captain now for a few years, and he's a phenomenal leader. He's grown with the team. He's actually providing a lot of guidance. And then a bunch of young players like Devarius Miller, Beanie, stepped up. He's our vice captain, phenomenal player in his own right. And then Austin Parrish, came over from Brevard. He's starting to develop in a real nice leader in the back line, defensive organizer. Man, there are too many to mention. All of them are right there with each other. Sean Taggart, who's unfortunately injured, and we hope his foot will be ready, should we make it through to the finals. Mm-hmm. There's a core group of really good players, good leaders, that pull the people in behind them.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, Coach, about that second game. If I don't, because I was watching it on Facebook, did you guys score 2 tries right one after the other?
In the second half, yeah.
So see, this is something that when a team does that, we had this U16 game. I don't know if you remember, Gavin, and that exact same thing happened, and that turns around the game. I think mentally you run them over, right? Because you score 1 try and then 2 minutes you score another one. It's like a.
Gavin, this. I mean, momentum is everything in this game, and once you get your tail up a little bit, it's the belief, it's the structures that starts falling in place, and that is what we aim for. Our biggest scores throughout the season came when we score within the first 2 minutes. If we do that, we control the game.
Right.
And unfortunately, for some reason or other, we play fearful. We play not to lose rather than playing to win, and it's a mental state that we've got to overcome. But then the fight back starts, and that kudos to the boys. They just do not quit.
Yeah, all it takes is a big tackle to get the momentum going, or someone does something spectacular. All of a sudden, the adrenaline kicks in. It's like, oh yeah, we're playing. And I noticed that at this level.
That's exactly the case. For us, it was 2 big tackles, which led to a turnover, which led to a try. and all of a sudden they were on fire. They were there. They were in the game.
Switched on. Yeah, they get their second wind or whatever it is, or they just decide to get off the bus and start playing.
And then, and talking about second wind, I think we spent a lot more this year on fitness, physical and mental fitness. Is to fight through the wall. That's our motto. Whenever we practice, is fight through the wall, and it shows. And hopefully against the heavier team, we're a fast, lighter team, and hopefully against the heavier team, that will come to the fore.
A bit of patience and absorbing some stuff in the first half, and then beat them on the fitness stuff later on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, all right, good stuff. So that's a big weekend coming up. And one more question I have before we get into it, but regarding sort of making this trip, I always feel like the US in general is just too big to do these national championships. My personal opinion. I know that that's probably controversial, but the funding to be able to go one weekend, to where was it, Knoxville, I think you said, and then a couple of weekends later you go into Texas with a bunch of guys that are probably younger guys, so they're not like corporate executives who can just throw around $1,000 every weekend for a flight.
Yeah, that's our biggest hurdle to overcome. Is funding. And
how's it going? How's it going now for this trip?
It's going really well, Charlie, and thank you for plugging it us on the GoFundMe. A lot of the old boys stepped in, and then we reached far and wide. Shared our contact list, and we made it. We made it to Knoxville, and we had some money coming out of there that we could put forward for the Houston trip. And then this past weekend during Sunfest, we had a fundraiser at O'Shea's, one of our major sponsors, and we raised over $1,000 just there in about a 4-hour period that we were there. So people just seem to find the money.
Well, it's always good if you go to an Irish pub, you can shake down a few drunks and they'll always have it.
Well, that may or may not have happened.
Well, it's a rugby team, so that you've got the manpower and the size for it. Right. Take care of their money when you're in the bathroom or something.
Yeah, and I mean, a shout out to everybody. And something which I have to talk about is Brevard, who's probably our biggest opponent in our league. Had the respect for the game and the greatness to donate to our cause, and I want to shout out to Brevard for showing us how it's done, and what this brotherhood is. And so thank you, Brevard.
Excellent. That's really cool. I like to hear that. That puts the icing on the cake for you, I'm sure.
It does.
Excellent stuff.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good luck. Keep us. We'll see you then. You said this weekend, right?
Correct. Yeah, on Saturday. Okay. So the official kickoff time is 2:30. It's going to be broadcast on Texas Rugby Union YouTube channel. It's going to be a live broadcast with commentary.
Nice.
We are trying to switch it to 12:30 because our flight is at 6:30 back from Houston, and where Aviva Stadium is, getting back to the international airport is through that traffic, So we're trying to shift the game, and as soon as I have confirmation, I will post the link on your website, Charlie.
So that's flying out and back same day.
No, so we're flying out Friday night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we contemplated flying early morning, and Ross is going to help us on Spirit. It's just too risky, flying out, and then so that's the travel plans.
Got it. Okay, mate. Hey, well, good luck with everything. Congratulations on what you've got so far, and we'll all be here in Florida cheering you on, I'm sure.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Charlie, for putting on this beautiful podcast, man. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure, and we'll see you soon. Good luck, and bring back the win.
That's the plan.
Cheers, Chris.
Because quickly, just for you guys, this is the stage. The last time you went to the Nationals, this is the last step you reach, right? It's a similar stage.
Yeah, we lost in the semifinals in this is to get in the final 4. So this is the final, and so it's a little bit different this time than last time. It was last time it was the final 4 out of the South Regional.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit confusing, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a really nice stadium where you're going to play. So
Yeah.
you're going to play better.
Thank
For
you,
sure.
Charlie.
Or
Appreciate
you're gonna look better at least. I'm not gonna play, but you're gonna look much better
I'm
because.
gonna either shave it
Yeah.
or dye it, one of the two.
Are you gonna be as usual up there in the stands?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I can't stand the tension in the technical zone.
Oh,
Excellent stuff, mate. No, fabulous, Usti. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
we'll see you
Goodbye.
around, Chris. Bye bye. Okay, so we have Anthony Ballinger. I'm gonna just remove you for a little bit, okay? Because we have the Key Biscayne people coming in, and there's no space. And you can come back later if you want, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna move on now. That's okay with you?
Absolutely.
To talk about the U14s and 16s, which were both won by the Key Biscayne Rugby Rats. Let's start bringing in some of the coaches.
Absolutely.
Sebastián Bustos, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? Won by the Key Biscayne. Sebastián.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Gavin. How are you?
How are you?
Hello, Sebas.
Great. Can you hear me?
Is that your new field that you have in the background for the Key Biscayne Rugby Rats?
Yes, we're moving there next season.
Nice.
We just bought it.
Nice.
That's the field of dreams for me.
And we can play golf.
That's
we can
what
play golf, right?
Heaven looks like, really.
Javier Caselli, how are you?
How are you, Charlie?
¿Cómo estás?
Sebas, how are you?
Hey, Javi.
Hey guys, we have to do one in Spanish one of these days, huh?
Yeah. Just let us know.
En español, TFRO en español.
I know Gavin can speak also in Spanish. So.
In Spanglish, let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
We got the presidente here. We have a couple of players. I don't know. They don't seem to have.
Hello,
Daniel
Charlie. How are
and
you?
Russell. Hi, Benjamin. Daniel Aguilar. Hi. And Russell da Silva. He's distracted. Well, I guess he'll be back in.
Yeah, hey,
Guys.
hey, Charlie. I'm the coach of the U12, so I'll let you guys carry on.
No. Who said that? Wait.
Russell Da Silva, coach for U12's Boca.
Oh, okay. You just come in later, okay?
Okay, yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that.
Come in. Oh, no, that's fine. And you know what? I'm going to remove you right now because I need the space, but come in once we're done with the Rats, okay?
You got it.
Thank you.
Daniel has just joined. Daniel played as a number 8 in the final yesterday in the under 14s.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic stuff. So let's see. We've got the under 14s game, guys. I'll let you kind of do a round robin on this. How did the game go for you guys, and what was the key to success for the under 14 squad?
So Daniel, why don't you take a shot at that?
So I think that the key to success for our team was pushing up and looking forward to them instead of waiting for them at the back.
That's a bit more defensive pressure.
Yeah, we had to be careful because at the end they started putting a lot of pressure in, so we had to more conserve the ball than look for another try. And
now this year for you guys, was it a big difference playing on the bigger fields? Because I know previously that we tended to play on these smaller fields. But do you think that helped you guys, or was that more of a hindrance for you?
Yes, it's a very big difference because we need to get used to a lot of new things like contested lineouts with lifting, pushing scrums, contested scrums, and the field is way bigger, so normally you get tired easier.
Absolutely.
I think this division did a huge progress this season because, if I'm not wrong, when you started playing compared to how you ended playing, it's like two different games, right? Yeah. Sebastián, you're the coach for this group, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the progress of this team. Oh, he always has terrible connection, Sebastián. We're not inviting him anymore.
Worse than me? Can't be possible.
Presidente, tell us about this team, how they started and how's it going?
Absolutely, I agree with you. This is a very different end that we imagined, because when we started the season, there was 12 aside and the pitch was other size. So we have to adapt it. And I think at the end of the day, it was a good thing for the boys, for the rugby in general. And I think we did it very good. Also, Boca did very good. I want to mention Okapi that did very good. The matches were very tight, and there was not a big difference between these three teams. And I think it's more like rugby. The other thing is more like, as we say here in Spanish, rugbito, or little rugby. Now we are playing rugby, and well, and I see Sebastian there, so he can go.
Yeah, I agree with what Benja said. It was a year of huge development for us. I think from very early next year we must confirm the rules so that everybody gets ready. But playing 15 aside in a full pitch, contested scrums, lifted lineouts was a big change. But in the end, we developed well. I've seen every team make a lot of progress. The matches that we played against Okapi, against Boca in the semis and the finals were a lot more complex, I would say, than what we played in November as friendlies or in January. I've seen every team grow a lot, and that's really encouraging. Yeah, the guys had a lot of fun this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe, again, my opinion, you go from sort of 12s to 14s, and if it stays on these little pitches, and the guys, some of them are a lot bigger, and it becomes just that sort of herd of kids just running around together. But all of a sudden, if you put it on a proper field and start doing things properly, it seems to advance things pretty quickly. And I think that's a good thing, because once you get to the under 16s, sometimes that jump is too much. From that under 12 mentality to under 16. So I'm glad that's worked out for everybody, and everyone seems pretty happy with that that change. I think that's a big step up. And in terms of you've got the structure with Key Biscayne. Me personally, I'm a massive advocate, obviously, on your model in terms of a rugby club. I will constantly batter the Miamis and the Miami Tridents for not doing what you're doing. Where do you see that going over the next couple of years, and continuing to advance in that direction, continuing to grow the numbers, or are you restricted in Key Biscayne with it, not having so much space there? What are your thoughts, guys? Maybe that should be directed at Benjamin or Javier.
Well, actually. This is we start this as a very little thing. It was an idea of a few guys who start playing rugby, they love rugby, and start playing rugby with the children, and we grow to be the club that we are today. You are right. We are in an island. At the end of the day, we are the most house club in the Florida, I think. We have an influence in Coral Gables of Miami, and we were able to capture some play from there. As today, I think the 70% or 75% of our players are still from Key Biscayne. The deal that we did with Trident, they let us use the field. That was a very, very good thing, and very we appreciate a lot of that what Jose Bermudez offered us, and we enjoyed playing in a proper field. So I cannot say right now but I think I don't think we will grow to a man team. Not for now. For
no
sure.
men in Key Biscayne. No men.
Not at all.
No men. No. By now, at least, it's not in our plans. We are more focused on developing the youth rugby. We think that that's our core and our sweet spot. You can say that, because then we will have a gap of when the boys go to college. Many of them go out of state or in state, but far away from Biscayne. So it will be very difficult for us. We like to think, at least from my side, that we can. The guys who stay here, they can go to Trident. That we have a relationship with them, and we feel comfortable with that relationship. Actually, we have a couple of former Key Biscayne players play already in Trident. So it's a good thing for us, and we feel comfortable with that.
Okay.
I think that is a perfect approach. Just having a youth club, that's fine. Now, what I would say is that the men's club should have youth. The other way around, I think it should be like that. But because as you said, you have that gap of college that makes it really hard to complete the cycle. Only Okapi has something like that, and they did pretty well under Coach Gavin.
They did. Now he's gone, but that gives me a good segue. So if any of those kids in Key Biscayne want to stay local and go to university, you've got some more options now. Got to plug that one.
I know.
St. Thomas University is obviously. Actually, I did have a couple of Key Biscayne kids on Sunday morning.
And that is one of the great news of this year. Believe me.
Yeah, I think people are excited about that and having kids stay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's move on to the U16 game. We don't have any player from the U16 team, right?
Yes, we should have two.
Where are they? Because I just upgraded my plan to make more space in the green room.
No.
So, but I don't see anybody else.
At least there was two. I know there were two.
Yeah. I know we have two scheduled, but they haven't showed up. I don't see them. Anyway, Javier, you're the coach.
You one.
You have one right there.
You got one there in your pocket.
He has two at home.
In my pocket, but near me.
Close.
Okay, sure.
Hello.
Because we really like to have some of the kids.
Yes. We should have the captain and a sub-captain. So
I'm planning to have a kids-only podcast. No more coaches. You guys are so boring.
So boring. You should change that.
Okay, Mariano, we can't see your face actually. How are you doing? Turn on the light.
¿Me escuchan?
Yes,
Mariano.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
You are very.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now we see you. What position do you play in the team?
I am the flanker, actually.
A flank, okay.
Of the team.
Welcome
Captain.
and congratulations. So this was one really interesting game. Javier, you're the coach, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so tell us about this game, because this is one of those games that I guess by the way you guys enjoyed yourself right after the game, it was it was so explosive once the game was over, how the kids got together.
I think we were all very nervous. That's part of the problem. Yes, I think that both teams, Okapi and Key Biscayne, both teams know each other very well. All the players, they know all of our players. So I think most of the problem or the challenge of the game was every error on any other side was going to be capitalized by the other one. So it was a very tough game. We started on our first half not playing good at all. Then some adjustments on the second half, and we were able to basically to turn the game around. Yes. Yeah, I think in terms of the field, I think the field was great. It definitely benefited Okapi's game, but maybe the weather was not helping them. But in the end, I think it was not the best game between the two games, but the two teams. But still, there was a test match played with very, very tough and very close game, definitely.
I think both teams looked quite nervous in comparison to now, but obviously it's a final. It's a big event for the year, right? At least that's the impression I got from the sidelines as a fan that particular day. But Mariano, what are your thoughts? What was the feeling like going into the game as a player, as part of the team?
Well, it's a very nervous feeling, I have to tell you. It was not the first time we actually played the team. We have played a lot of times, but it was a very interesting game. It started raining in the first time and the first half, and it was very fun. Had a lot of fun. It was a lot of pressure, of course, but a hard game. Of course, I had to yell to a lot of my teammates to do the correct stuff, but I had a lot of fun. Very hard to.
Who's that scoring right now? Number 12.
Number 12 is Santiago.
Santi Gazzoli.
I just love when you have smart players,
Yeah.
which you see a lot in these teams. Geronimo, are you from the U16s also?
Yes.
Okay. What position were you playing?
I was playing outside center the first half, and then I switched into inside during the second half.
So I just want to ask any of the players in this game, like you guys won the game in the last 15 minutes, right? You scored, I think, 2 tries, one after the other. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a very intense moment.
So was that something that you guys were talking to each other and just let's do this and let's do this? How does that play out in that moment? Because you were down like 8 points, something like that, and you had been trailing all the game.
Yeah, 14-3 was the score at the beginning of
the half.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was texting. Gallo had to leave the field, and I was texting. He just left, and as soon as he left, you guys scored, and then 2 minutes later, you scored again. He was going crazy.
Yeah, he would not have been happy at that at all. But Geronimo, let's talk about after the game. How were you? How were the celebrations, and what did you guys get up to afterwards? What kind of fun and games were you playing once you completed the win?
Well, obviously after the game, we were all together in a huddle. Javi gave us our last team talk where we got our medals, and finally we lifted the trophy. But after. We all went back home to the key, and we had a little barbecue. And
I don't think it was little.
It was.
Sure. I'm probably sure it was pretty big.
Yes, and then we had a little celebration. We all got a little haircut to show the moment.
What's up with taking off your shirts when you were? It's so funny. Everybody's taking off their shirts, throwing them away. Look.
It's the passion of the moment, right?
Oh, the minutes after the final whistle is such a lovely moment to watch for the winners, of course.
Absolutely. No, that's phenomenal scenes up in Wellington for the Key Biscayne boys. Congratulations on the successful season, guys, and obviously. Being your neighbor slightly further north, we're always happy to see you guys winning, even if it is against us. And that comes from the heart. Genuinely, it's great to see you guys doing well. And again, a successful season. Congratulations, gents, all of you.
Thank you very much.
It's become a great rivalry. We always look forward to playing Capi. It's always great. Lots of friends over there.
Exactly.
Now, what we need is another team here in Miami, so you guys don't have to play each other every weekend in the preseason, right?
Yes.
that is one topic I was hoping to have Alan Lawson today. He got sick and couldn't make it, but we're going to talk about that. I think we really need more teams. You know, like between Okapi and Key Biscayne, you guys probably have like 40, 50 coaches. You know, why don't you just spread them out a little bit and start another, couple of teams? That would be great.
It would be good if this is strategic, obviously, but what's the possibility of a couple of the Okapi coaches that maybe live a little bit further south? Or even, I know there's a couple of coaches that are friends with some of the Key Biscayne guys that actually work downtown Miami. And then maybe a couple of, partner up somewhere in the middle there. I think that would be phenomenal. My thought process is all about franchising and making that sort of to spread it around a little bit. Mariano Gallo will tell me, no, that's a ridiculous idea. But I think it's something that we should consider, if nothing else, just to create more games and a more diverse scenario going into the season. Just a thought that we can put out there. Maybe the universe turns it around and makes it happen for us.
I'm sure there's plenty of untapped rugby people in Miami, in other places that don't even know that this is alive and growing, and they could form other clubs. Very happy to support, very happy to train together. We're actually already planning training sessions with Okapi, with Boca for the preseason, because that's the way to grow. So if anyone's interested, very happy to support that initiative.
Yeah, I did bump into one of the gents from Miami on Sunday morning and sort of point blank directly asked him, why doesn't Miami have a youth team? But it sounds like they've got a new board of directors and a new organization there that are looking to sort of aim in that direction. So fingers crossed they get that done in hopefully this next season, but maybe it'll be beyond that.
Did you punch him in the face?
No, I was very nice to him. It was very polite. It was all very cordial. I haven't punched anybody in months.
Well, listen, I would love to start a club. I'm just too busy doing a million other things for rugby. But if I did start a club, this would be the shirt, okay? It wouldn't say this, but this would be my uniform.
Okay. We call it Charlie RFC.
But I really think we need more competition, because I guess the kids, is it something, Mariano or Geronimo, do you guys get sort of tired of playing against the same teams all season around? Because you basically just play Boca and Wellington and Okapi, right?
Jacksonville.
And Jacksonville. Oh, you did that trip, yeah, Andy.
Yeah, you could say there's like a more need for competition, right, around the situation. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, maybe we need to get some schools going. Schools have it a little bit easier to organize.
Absolutely. Well, Cardinal Gibbons, I know that they almost put themselves together an under-16s team, but they pulled that out at the last minute, I think. But you guys as Key Biscayne normally do some, at least a trip with the Bahamas so often. Is that something that you guys plan on doing again, or have you done it? You haven't done it recently, I don't think. Is that something you want to go back into?
Bahamas or the Rugger Fest at North Carolina?
Yeah, I thought you guys used to try and do the Bahamas thing at least once every other year or something.
We stopped before the pandemic, and then we started going to Rugger Fest, North Carolina, around March.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did that recently.
Yeah. And
okay.
This past March, we went with 3 divisions, almost 100 people, so players mostly. Okay, so like 80 players, and it was a very good experience. We also try to organize something to bring them here at the beginning of the season. That's something that we can also try to organize. Okay,
like in December maybe. Hey, why don't you guys go to Argentina? Everybody's from Argentina. Why don't you just go?
Too far away.
Come on, you just go all on vacation and you just go and play some games.
We prefer to develop rugby here in the United States or in the Caribbean. We have this very long time relationship with Freeport Rugby Club. We stopped going there after Irma Hurricanes. The club was devastated. Actually, we did a fundraising for them to rebuild that club.
I remember, yes.
They start doing that. They also use the money for the local school. They did a terrific work there. And after that, the pandemic, and they are not doing rugby at this time, but they are willing to do that soon. And if that happens, we will resume our trips to Freeport, no doubt. And Rugby Fest, as Javi said, it was a great thing to discover. This was our second year there. We took 3 teams this time, and it was a great experience for all. And what Javier is saying, that we maybe the clubs here, we can try to organize something like that between our clubs and invite clubs from the north. It will be also very good for develop the rugby here in South Florida. I think
Let's do that.
We can. That's the things that we can start talking about and sharing ideas and trying to put the effort together.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the U14s, like lately, we had like a gira of French people from Perpignan come here from all the way there to Key Biscayne to be here and play against some teams there.
When was that? Oh, this
Saturday.
Weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah. But did you guys didn't play then?
Yeah, we did a mixed team. Like
you mixed up
Wellington.
with
We mixed up with it. Yeah.
How did they play? Was it a big difference playing against the Frenchies?
Yeah, it was different. It was a different way that they played. They were they didn't have much size, so they played the ball very fast, and it was different. And they were able to beat like Okapi and Wellington and our team combined.
Interesting. I would imagine that's a big shock to the system for Key Biscayne, because usually you're the team that are using the width and using the speed and the kicking, and all of a sudden there's a team doing exactly the same thing to you. I didn't see the game, but that must have been an interesting one for you guys, and a little problematic maybe.
Yeah.
In fact, for us, it was great. Afterwards on Saturday night when we hosted them, the coaches explained that in the under 14s you cannot crash into a defense for safety reason. You need to play outside and to the space, and that's the way they learn their expansive style of rugby. And later on, they can actually try to force into a defense. That's why they play such a fast game. But it was a great partnership. It's part of this variety that we're looking for, rather than going to Argentina, going to the Caribbean or North Carolina, or receiving teams over here. I think that's a great thing.
I think we should take advantage of that. As Florida, it's a location where people want to come to, like as a vacation, as a tour, whether it's top quality teams or more social teams. I think we, as a rugby organization here in Florida, should take advantage of the fact that it's a holiday destination, and we can be playing games probably once a month at least against foreign teams, if we kept ourselves organized. So that's something that maybe should be brought up in the FRYU AGM, for example, and sort of push that kind of thing. Maybe we can dedicate a little bit of time to promoting teams coming here. Even on the political level with the counties, you can actually ask for money from the counties now. If there's going to be, they call it heads in beds, don't they? Where you're bringing in tourists potentially, and they're using up hotel space, and that gives tax dollars to the government, which therefore they can pass that on to the rugby clubs or the state organization potentially, which that all of a sudden generates money to get better facilities, to do more, and we continue going up. That again, that's where my brain kind of goes when we talk about this kind of stuff, because I think it just helps them pumps money back into the youth development, and then helps the coaches not have to pay out of their pocket for everything, like I know many of us do, to make that all happen. But yeah, phenomenal stuff, guys. I'm really impressed with what you guys have done this year. Excellent work. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you all again next season.
Absolutely, we will be here.
Pleasure.
And hopefully you'll be playing on that field that Sebastian has in the back.
I know after I die, I wish I would go there. Yeah.
Okay, guys, Mariano, Jerónimo, thank you very much. And Daniel, coaches, always nice to see you. And we'll see you next season, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye, Gary.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Take
Good
care.
night. Bye-bye.
Phenomenal stuff, Charlie. Key Biscayne, love those guys.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, they had a great season. It's always so nice to see them play, and they play so much because these are the two teams that you guys, Okapi and Key Biscayne, probably are the teams that play the most because you start really early in the season, and many other teams just cannot.
Yeah, it's difficult, but we're always happy to host them, and we go down to them as well. And there's always a good asado afterwards, and they'll do their choripan and all of the rest of it. Me, I'm always happy to go eat something, so I'm always there. I show up every time.
Of course, yeah. Okay, let's see. We're gonna move on to the Boga guys. Before we move to them, because I see Garth is not here yet. Let me just play for a second here the sort of presentation that the city of Wellington did at the event, because this facility that they can use now, which is not entirely dedicated to rugby, but has included rugby as one of the sports to be featured there, and it's a really nice place. They just have to put some trees, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, some shade would be good.
Some shade. So I'm just gonna run this. It's a couple of minutes, and I don't know if we said it, but Alan Lawson was gonna be at the beginning. He called in sick. We're gonna wait for the doctor's note to validate it, but he couldn't make it, so we're gonna play this. So let's give it a listen, okay?
Yeah, mate. Sounds good.
First off, I want to thank. This is a glorious day. It's been a glorious year for the Wellington Wizards. I have our city officials are here behind me. They're gracious to come today to kind of kick this thing off. This has been in the works for a long, long time. A partnership between the Parks Division, the City Council, the Mayor, everybody involved. I can't tell you how wonderful it has been. It has been a big thing for our program, as I'm sure for lacrosse as well. It is just unbelievable. And with that, I'm gonna hand this off to the people that are really in power, and then I will close. I will do closing statement.
That means you can just stay at the microphone.
Yes.
Thanks, Alan. You know what? One of the things that Wellington does really, really well is recreation. I am so proud of the team that has put this together, and proud of I'm going to end up saying go Wizards at some point, you know that. Proud of the girls and the young men who have played this sport and brought it to our attention and made sure that we provided for it just as well as every other sport in Wellington. So I'm proud to be here today as the mayor of Wellington, and I want to ask you, while you're here and visiting us, enjoy your time, because and look around while you're here. We've got other things to do, and enjoy your time here. We're very happy to host you. Vice Mayor Dryhouse.
Thank you, Mayor. So as you can see, these are relatively brand new fields. When this concept came about and the council started the decision-making process and working with staff, I think this was the absolute epitome of what we had hoped for and dreamed for. So we are extremely proud to host this event. We hope that you all enjoy it, and that ultimately, not only today, but in years to come, you'll be back and continue to enjoy what we believe to be the best Parks and Rec program in the state. Thank you all very much for coming.
Well, it's a beautiful day for rugby in Wellington. I want to welcome our visitors from France and Minnesota who've come down here for the beautiful weather. We've had it all pushed back until after the event, so you should have a nice dry day. These fields are a realization of the vision we had for what this place could be once it was fully operational. So we're happy you're all here. Hope you enjoyed the day, and it's a great day for rugby. I'll let John McGovern talk now.
So to bring it home, let's just say thank you to all of you, and congratulations on this amazing event. When we built these fields, as you've heard from my colleagues, the plan was for us to have a showcase field, best in class, largest potentially in the country, and to show it off to all of you, France, Minnesota, our Wellington Wizards rugby friends. Give yourselves a round of applause. We love you. But it's about rugby and lacrosse and soccer and football, and really it's about just getting everybody outside and being active. So we love this event. We're excited that the state championship is here in Wellington. We want it back next year. We want to move to the collegiate level, to the adult level. We want success at all levels. So thank you guys so much, and have a great day. Thank you.
So I've been told to wrap it up. So kind of in closing, this has been a huge, a big thing to the community, a big thing for the Wizards, a big thing for lacrosse and soccer, as John had stated. And it cannot be done without having, public officials that represent their community and bring it home, and we get to see what happens when good minds make right decisions and things happen for the people of this community. It's been wonderful. It's been great. And we are looking forward to 2023 and 2024 and so on as we begin to grow. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for how awesome this has been for us. I can't tell you how wonderful it's been. And thank you so much. And that's it. That's all.
Wizards on three.
Wait. Yes, we go. Here we go. Wizards on three. Wizards on three. 1, 2, 3. Wizards!
Yes.
There you go.
Phenomenal stuff.
You Gavin, have this experience in Western, having the city like really supporting the club, which does not happen to most teams.
Yeah, I think getting into politics is something that you kind of have to do to be successful, in my opinion. I think it worked for us. It seems like it's working for Wellington. Key Biscayne, for example, one of their biggest problems is that they don't have a field. Do you have to go and get the politicians on board to then get what you want? And I think that's certainly how we approached it at Okapi. I know Mariano did a lot of work in the beginning, 6 or 7 years ago, to make all of that happen, and getting them, taking some ownership of it is the key to either getting a field or at least just getting the backing and the sort of nod of approval from the mayors and the commissioners and people like that.
Okay, listen, let's move on to Boca. I'm gonna bring in the coach for the U12 first. Russell, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? I hope
you're
okay.
Thanks for coming. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
My personal opinion is, you may agree or not, that I really don't think we should have state championship for U12s. I don't know if you agree with that, or you think that
not should. Entirely. I think we should.
Okay.
particularly after Saturday.
Makes sense.
And yeah, let me tell you, I've also seen, and let's see if you agree with me, that this division has seen a great improvement this season, right?
Yeah,
I was sort of surprised, because I've been sort of, I get to go to a lot of these festivals where I get to see all the divisions, and this is the division where you start to see some real rugby, right?
Yeah, I think shaping up patterns comes at this age group, and certainly the teams we play. I heard you talking about it a little bit earlier. We've only got 4 real teams in our league, so to speak, but. I just see bigger numbers. I see a lot of reinforcement of the game, how it should be played, the rules, the patterns of play. So, I think it's a critical age group, particularly bleeding into the older age groups, and just giving them that sense of tournament, trophies, that competitive edge is what I believe we should be striving towards as the clubs that are here in South Florida.
He's laughing because Chris Vassell has chimed in with some comment. Great way to start a conversation.
We'll have Chris in a little bit. What do you think about what they just told us about? I don't know if you were listening. This French team that Can you explain it, Gavin? Because I'm not sure if I got it entirely
Actually,
right.
yeah, they
That's
mentioned
interesting.
it. Reminded me of a conversation I had a few months back. Remember Vincent Crevesant? He was a coach with Okapi when we started, and he moved back to France a couple of years ago. And he was telling me that he was over here for work maybe 3-4 months ago, and he actually was saying that now they're not allowed to make any contact. I think he said above the hips. So they're not allowed to, like, crash balls and all of that stuff really doesn't happen in France at the moment at the youth level. So they're basically forced to pass it out wide and find spaces out that way. It was a big shock when he told me, but apparently that's happening all across the youth systems now in France and creating a more expansive game. And obviously with the objective is to take away 90% of the contact by the sounds of it. What are your thoughts on that, Russell? Is that something that you're aware of?
No, I wasn't aware of it, but from a theoretical perspective, I think it actually makes sense. If you
we lost volume.
Running sideways.
Go ahead. No, we had lost you for a second there, but
I apologize.
I think it's okay now. That's fine.
Yeah, I think theoretically it makes a lot of sense. My team struggles the most. It's cutting out here on me. I apologize.
That's fine. Yeah. We appreciate you're in a car, right?
I am. I wasn't too clued up on this event. I'll blame Chris. I'm going to blame Chris.
Of course.
Everyone does.
So will I.
Yeah, but look, I mean, from a coaching perspective, it's something worth trying. I want to expand the passing game in our team, and that could be one way to do it. So, I'm open to exploring all options in our league, definitely.
Yeah, because it's maybe one of the abilities you want to develop more, right? Passing and running
for
to
sure
space at this age.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, I guess. I can understand where it's coming from, and especially now World Rugby are trying to make the game safer and safer. We're beginning to see. I know there was one of the England players recently, a former England player, has sort of started with dementia or some form of Alzheimer's, and that's something that's a sort of a headline. So they're working really hard to decrease the amount of damage that goes on. So this might be the way to go, but the older crowd, and me included in that, I think, taking away the contact. I mean, I wouldn't have had any kind of career if we took away contact, because I definitely wasn't fast enough or skilled enough.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure I'm not the only one in that boat. But it seems to be the way that the game's going. And if it's at the youth level and it makes things safer, then obviously nobody wants to see their kids getting hurt. So if that's what needs to be done. But I feel like the French Federation doing it to that extremity where you can't even tackle above the hips. Then
you learn to tackle low for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't be able to do anything. You'll get constant penalties and never get any advantage. But yeah, a huge one. And how was your game and your final this weekend, Russell? Obviously coming out as champions. How was that feeling for you and your boys?
I mean, it was just amazing. The kids were over the moon, rightly so for them. They've had a long season, hard season, even at that age group. It's weekend in, weekend out, and they just lapped it all up. I just can't thank the other teams, Okapi, Key Biscayne, Wellington, also just for making it a season. We up against them most weekends, and without those other clubs involved, it just wouldn't have been where it's at. But we were very happy with the results, and just love seeing the shape of the youth rugby developing in Boca.
Excellent stuff. And what was the female contingent in your group this year under 12s? I know there's always a few girls on your team. You had girls on this team this year as well.
We just got one. Skywalker. She's actually, we got her from Wellington, funnily enough. But yeah, I'd love to see that part of the game grow as well. Special shout out to her for getting involved and just being a really, really strong player that's developed. But I just want to see more girls in the squad, and I think that'll bring a different dynamic to rugby.
Absolutely, that's the way to go. And again, I think that's coming from World Rugby as well, sort of trickling down there, doing a very good job of pushing it on many different levels. I work with a lot of the women on the national teams in this region of the world, and they're getting the scholarships now to do sports management and that kind of thing. So it's something for these girls to aim for. When they get to that kind of level, and then maybe coming out of the game, where World Rugby's promoting that kind of stuff, where I've seen ladies getting these scholarships and going to university, get sports management degrees, and then coming back and growing rugby in their region or their country. And so, these ladies are becoming sort of the idols of the younger girls in these years. Right?
It's the way it should go. I mean, my daughter's 7, and she comes to a few practices, so she could be up there one day.
Absolutely,
for sure.
We're looking forward to that. Excellent.
She has a coach at home, so that helps. For sure.
She does, and that's one of the cool things. Is I coach my son's in the U12 team, and he's been playing for about 5 years now. So going up with him is just another dynamic
awesome,
that makes it special.
You will not regret that experience. I can tell you that
for sure.
Okay, Russell, thank you very much.
No problem, guys. Thanks for the time, and thanks for putting this on, and thanks for supporting rugby.
Cheers, Russell.
Bye-bye, guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Who we got next? What's next, Charlie?
We're going to come with the big boys from Boca, which have been waiting patiently from the beginning. And after them, I can confirm we have a top-level referee from Florida. I'm not going to say who he is, okay? It's mystery guest. So let's bring in the boys from Boca. Captain first. Cody, how you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Congratulations. Let's bring the other boys. We have 2 boys here. Hey, wake up. Hey. Finally. How you guys doing?
Hey, I'm good.
And the coach and the coach.
Hey, look at that background.
Boys.
Yeah.
Excellent, boys. Congratulations. How y'all feeling on this Monday after a long weekend?
Amazing, sir. Amazing weekend. Great. Yep.
No sleepy eyes, no hangovers, nothing like that, right?
Oh no way.
Just the dancing shoes, so maybe a bit of foot pain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How was the celebrations Saturday night, guys? What did y'all get up to? Don't worry, your parents aren't listening to the show.
The whole team, almost the whole team, we went to my house and we all had fun there. Yeah.
Phenomenal. So the Ballingers are the hosts for the evening.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. And what about the game itself? I stuck around for a little bit at the beginning, but I had to dip out. How did the game go? Talk us through it. Maybe Cody, the captain. Great to see you, mate. Obviously, me and Cody go way back, coaching Cody from, I don't know, how old were you when I started coaching you? 12, 13?
Just 15, 14.
Oh, wow. Older. Okay. All right. And then, so how was it? How was it for you, Cody? What did you feel like was the format for you to win over on Saturday?
Gavin, if I may, just before he starts, just to give a little bit more context, you guys had played Gibbons a month ago maybe, and
yes,
in a very close game also that you planned very carefully and it worked out well for you guys. So coming into this game, was there any changes or you have the same game plan?
It was pretty much the same game plan. The first game was all about defense, and so was the second game. Coming up as one, getting the ball out fast enough to Vinny, to get it to Jackson, then to Logan, then to Jordan. So it was pretty much a very defensive game whenever you play Gibbons, or whenever we played Gibbons. So that's pretty much what we had to rely on.
Good, organized defense, and then try and keep possession. Love it. Good stuff. And Johan, I don't think we've ever spoken before, but you're obviously doing some good things at Boca. Is this your second year with the club? Is that right?
Yeah,
this is my
Cody.
Oh, Coach Sean.
No, yeah, that was Johan.
Yeah, this is my second year with the club, and I, for the most part, focus on the forwards. That's kind of where my expertise lies. And then Matt, who was acting as head coach this year, he handled the backs. And to touch on to the point a little bit earlier that you had about the defense, I think that was, as a coaching group, was our main focus was to create that intensity at training to the lead up, as well as to simulate what a game would be like. And we did that in the first game against Gibbons. We know that they're a bunch of big athletic boys. And if you don't make your tackles and if you don't man up, it's going to cost you. And ultimately, that's who we are as a team, is an intense bunch of men that lead the line from the front and that play that in-your-face defense. And I said we should change that from the Boca Bucks to the Boca Constrictors or the Boca Pythons, because that's the way that we defend, is we keep on defending and squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter, and teams tend to make mistakes. And we pounce on it, as you can see right there, the man himself, basically clinching the game for us. And that's what we do as a team. And I think that's what differentiated this group of men is a intense buy-in as a group, because this is the ultimate team sport. And the ability to execute on some of the skill sets that we've given to them. But at the end of the day, as a coaching group, we're just there. These boys, it's all on them. And I think as a team and as a group and as an organization, we couldn't be more proud of them.
Yeah, it seems like you've got the buy-in from the boys, which I think that makes a massive difference. Once they've taken ownership of it and you've given them a structure, I think from there at this age group, you can sort of do limitless things with kids at that age.
It's been, and consistency was one of the main things. Is just keeping the consistency there during training, and then, like I said, to the lead up to this, you can ask the boys on Tuesday before the game against Gibbons. I joined training and actually made contact with them so we can get them conditioned for what it's going to be like. Yeah. We had to prepare these men, and I think we did all we can, and they delivered. As proof in the result.
Absolutely. So a little bit earlier on, Ballinger, I saw you diving over the line on this highlight reel. Was that the winning try? Was that towards the end of the game, or was that earlier on?
I believe I had one in the very beginning, and I intercepted one like late in the second half. Yeah.
Okay, so that would have. What was the score in the end? 18-10. Is that what it was?
18-10. Yeah.
Okay, so that sealed the deal for that one, and we've got Vincent there. How's this season been for you, Vincent? That you're pretty new to the area, right?
Yeah, it was my first year playing for Boca, and I didn't play like 2 games at the beginning of the season, but we started training and getting my position. But yeah, we finished really strong, as you can see here.
And where have you come from? Where did you play previously?
Previously that I played in New Zealand in Christchurch, and I went as an exchange student. And before that, I played on Chile.
Okay, and you're from Chile originally. Phenomenal. Yeah, there's a buzz about you. There's lots of people saying your name, and I was like, okay, great. I know I'd met you once before, but then I was now that I see you, it makes sense because everyone's saying good things about your passing ability, your kicking ability, and a few other things. So congratulations. Looks like you're the new star in town. Great work. There's another one of the stars that's been around a little bit longer there. Saw you coming in. How you doing, Jordan Vassell?
I'm doing good, Coach. How are you? How are you?
Very good, mate.
Hi, Charlie. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. We got you, man. We can hear you. Was that your microphone or was that your medal?
This is the mic right here. This is the mic.
Congratulations, mate. How are you feeling after this weekend of fun and obviously getting the championship under your belt? How are you feeling about things going forward, mate?
I'm feeling great. We worked hard for this all year. We said it to ourselves at the beginning of the year when the team first came together. We knew this was going to happen, so we went out there and we got the job done. I feel good. Just a little sore in my thigh. I got a deep thigh bruise, but we'll be back.
Good stuff. Excellent. Now to sort of mention Cardinal Gibbons, I mean, for me as a coach that's seen these, all of you guys growing up over the last few years, Gibbons is always just a massive athletic threat. And my thoughts are that they've genuinely developed as a rugby team this year. They're not kind of here to defend themselves or whatever, but I feel like Cardinal Gibbons are finally pulling together legitimate rugby players, not just maybe in the past they had a bit of a fame, just sort of throw in the American football guys and see what they can do. Would you agree with that, or am I out of place?
No, I agree. They're amazing athletes. These guys will come out here and, you know, give us a run for our money. But all season we've been preparing for them. You know, we knew they were going to be the team to beat. So yeah, they're a bunch of great athletes, and they're definitely developing as rugby players.
Yeah,
I have to kind of echo that sentiment. Last year when we played them, and of course they won the championship last year and just steamrolled everyone. I think once you realize, you know, that you have to meet them with the same intent that they're meeting you. We were a much smaller pack, especially up front, where our pack was much smaller, outweighed probably 20, 30 pounds by man. You have to meet that intensity, and that's what it is, because even the biggest bullies don't like to be hit in the face. And that's, we said to the boys, is we're not there to be athletes, we're there to be rugby players. And I think the proof was in the pudding. Our backline has to be one of the best backlines that I've ever seen in Florida, I've ever heard of. Just from 9 all the way to 15 and on the reserves, it's just phenomenal rugby players. You know, it's an all-around team, and I think that is what differentiated us. But that being said, Cardinal Gibbons' progression from pure athletes to rugby players has begun, and you can see they have guys that are returning each year, that become better, they become more skilled, that have that rugby IQ. And I think, you know, they're definitely on the right path. So it is a progression.
Excellent. All good for the development of rugby in Florida. I think if we can get a few more teams together and going in the similar or same direction between Cardinal Gibbons and Boca and obviously Okapi, then you've got Wellington coming through, Key Biscayne. If they continue in this vein, I think we can start sort of getting a bit more respect around the USA, which I think that's one of the things missing. There's loads of talent here. And I think finally we've got some coaches that are all kind of going in the right direction. Johan, again, we haven't met too much or chatted too much, but it seems like you'd be an excellent addition to coaching in Florida. Obviously, I want to invite you down to the Jaguares stuff with Chris Vassal's on board with that, and obviously Garth helping out in different ways. So I think that's all good stuff going in the right direction for growing Florida and representing Florida elsewhere in the country, so that people can pay attention to us a little bit more.
Absolutely.
You know what I like to say, that I think that made a difference for you guys with Gibbons, that you were probably the only team that could do this, you know, the 70-minute defense. You could do it the 70 minutes, because what I see has happened with other teams, even Okapi. You guys, when you played the semifinal, you were ahead going, I don't know, 10 minutes into the second half. You were like 16-5, something like that. But then it's so hard to keep up the 70 minutes. And I think, Boca, one thing that you managed is to keep that defense the 70 minutes.
Ask the boys why.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's all Coach Matt's fault. He makes us do sprints.
Share the secrets.
Coach Matt makes us do sprints during practice every Tuesday. Every time we have a mistake during the game, it's like he doubles it, and we do like 2 sprints for every mistake.
Yeah. Coach Johan and Coach Matt don't play when it comes to fitness. So
yeah, our conditioning, it was about conditioning, and they hated us during season and they hated us when we did it, and I understand it. I've been in that position. But we told them that defense wins championships. And you've got to be able to defend, not for 70 minutes, you've got to be able to defend for 75 minutes. And that's kind of the way that we structured our sessions, is time-wise. Okay, you've played now a half, you played 35 minutes, you played 20 minutes, you still have 50 minutes more to play. And I think it really showed, you know, at the end. And we were usually, I'm skill over conditioning, but I think we've, that's where the secret sauce, as Chris Vassal chimes in.
No, that's it. It makes a big difference if you can do it for the full and maybe 10 minutes afterwards. Then you know that you've got all your bases covered, and I think that's probably why Cardinal Gibbons have always do quite well. It's just because they're always in great shape. Those are, they're always very, very good with the football side of things. So they're all athletes. They're finishing school at probably 3 p.m. and going straight into training, and it's kind of almost like a university style environment where you don't get any sort of rest after school. Boom, straight into your training, and that's where they get their fitness stuff. And they've got these amazing athletes. But
they're all very fortunate to have that, and I'm sure Gavin, where you come from, it's the same as in South Africa. Schoolboy rugby is such a big thing, and not only the schoolboy rugby, but the cohesion that you build as a unit. Every day you're spending time together at school, having a laugh in class, then going onto the field. And that is a benefit that people overlook. Having the ability to have that uniform group together, it's a great thing. And I wish more schools would adopt the sport in Florida and in the United States. I think it'll only be better for rugby going forward.
Yeah, unfortunately, from what I can tell, and I've been involved in this for a while, that the private Catholic schools, for example, or any kind of private school, they can do it because they can do what they want. The biggest issue is within a state, I believe you have to have 22 or 23 high schools all jump on board at one time, which is almost impossible to do. That's a massive task, and that's the only thing really holding it all back. But in the meantime, we've got fantastic clubs and organizations like yourselves at Boca, Wellington, many others around the state and the country that are doing what we can in the meantime. But if we can keep pulling in the Cardinal Gibbons, St. Thomas Aquinas, Archbishop McCarthy, I'm sure there's a few more up in the Boca and West Palm Beach area. If we can sort of get the ear of those coaches up there, the PE teachers and the athletic directors, I think that's the direction we need to go in. So we'll keep plugging away, I guess.
I have a quick question for the boys. What on top of this physical preparation, did you guys work on your mental preparation for a game like this? Because I think in these games, the mental game, when the last 15 minutes, you have to really keep it together. Is that something you work on among yourselves during the game?
Yeah, all week we prepared ourselves physically, mentally. We know when we play these guys, these guys are gonna bring the best out of us. So we mentally lock in every week, and we know it's coming.
Yeah, I've noticed that seems to be a factor with all of these games. Well, at least of the older age groups. I think the under-16s, the under-16 Key Biscayne game that they won against Okapi I think it was definitely a mental thing. They kept themselves in the game and Okapi switched off. West Palm Beach Panthers, we were talking about, they've gone in with a much stronger mentality. Boca, I think it's a reoccurring theme where sometimes all of the physical ability is there, but you've got to be able to switch it on mentally as well to take it to the next level and close it out, and I think that might be something. I know even that's happening in the professional game, where I'm seeing with my work as an agent, I'm seeing coaches bringing in, mental health coaches and psychologists and things like that. And obviously that maybe is a little extreme for high school, but at least having coaches that are aware of that kind of thing, that they can add that into game preparation during that week leading up to a game. I think it's.
I have to agree with you. Agree and disagree, I think, is a great component, but I don't think it's too young to start at high school. I think just as men and as going to play a sport and growing up and joining workforce, having the mental strength to understand, to work through issues and to prepare for things when it doesn't go your way, it's a great skill set to have. And we preach that to the boys all the time, is to talk about, you are going to lose in life. That's part of living. You got to understand, you got to keep fighting through those things. When you get punched in the face or when you get dropped down, you got to work. And I think that mental acuity is a very, very important part. And I wish we could focus on it more in a more structured way, but we try and do it in our own ways through, just drills and communication.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me going into the university environment now and having the access to different types of coaches, you've got strength and conditioning coaches, mental coaches, all that stuff. It's something that if you can, it's about creating your team of coaches and who's got those different skill sets, over within your team. Sometimes it's just, and Johan, I'm sure you've been in that situation where maybe you're the only coach there that day because the other two guys are working late or family commitments. That's quite often the case, especially for us. But one thing I wanted to mention, Cody, do you want to show us what you've got there?
Yeah, I'll happily show it off a little bit.
Good man. Congratulations. And how many bowls of cereal have you got out of that one, mate?
So far none. I'll definitely have one tomorrow. I'll send you a picture.
Excellent. I love it. So as captain, you get to keep a hold of that for how long?
Until Saturday.
Saturday, you gotta get it back and put it on coach's shelf, I guess. All right. Awesome stuff.
You, Cody and Logan, you guys moving to college, right? Vicente and Jordan, you guys have another season in Boca?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. And where are you going, Cody? Are you both going to the same place, or?
No, I'm going to Belmont Abbey in North Carolina.
Nice. Okay. So who's up there already? Is it Liam that went there? Liam Matler, your old buddy?
Yeah, he's up there already.
Nice. And then I think what's the kid, Jordan? I can't remember his last name now. He played with the Jaguares last year. Jordan Carroll, is he there as well?
I think so, yes.
Okay, cool. And then two of my clients from ASM scholarships, 2 South African kids, are also up there, and they're doing really well. 2 guys, I think they went to Hilton College. So Johan, you're from South Africa originally, correct?
I am. Hilton's a great school.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of clients from Hilton that are at the same college. So Cody's going to be in some good company up there. They're building a really cool program up at Belmont Abbey. Congratulations on that, Cody. Great stuff, boys.
So I'm assuming, Gavin, are we going to see a lot more signings to St. Thomas?
Hopefully, I've missed out on a few. I've missed out on a few this year because I started the job a little bit later than I would have ideally liked. But yeah, we've got some guys here that I'm sure I can throw some scholarship money at. Jordan, Vincent, those 2 that was directed at you 2 for 2023 or 2022 potentially if you're old enough.
I want to ask the boys, how much does that sideline in a game like this help you?
Oh, it was blowing up. Once we had a crowd on our side, and once we started scoring, that sideline was going crazy. And once we get that momentum from the sideline here and all that, that just turns our energy up and just gets us ready to go.
Imagine.
It was quite annoying for me when I was kicking.
Oh my God! Yes. But to be fair, both sidelines were making noises, so that was a little bit embarrassing for everybody. We shouldn't be doing that.
Not respecting the kicker. Did that happen?
Yeah,
really?
We had the coaches. We were trying to get them to quite. We thought it was, we thought it was Gibbons' coach, and then Gibbons' side, and then we found out no, it was actually another team, and so it was noise. And every time Vinny was trying to kick, these guys are making a bunch of noise, and we were talking like, hey guys, what's going on here? But I guess they were all just excited and hyped about it. So
you need to use earplugs, Vicente. When you're gonna kick, you should use earplugs. So, relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. And one reason I think that Boca won this year is because we're not only the best team, we're the best family. I think the best family won the championship this year, and that's what brought us all the way there.
It was a tight knit squad, huh?
Oh yeah, these guys are my brothers for life.
That's rugby, boys. That's the way it should be. Absolutely.
Beautiful thing.
Fantastic.
For sure.
Congratulations again, guys. Great seeing you all. Great to see your pretty faces, not too beat up. That's great news as well. And a phenomenal season for you. Excellent work.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Gavin.
Good luck to the seniors, and the juniors. Will see you next year. Thank you very much.
See you, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Also on top.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Phenomenal stuff, Charlie.
That was a very nice team, actually, to see. You can tell that, that, and you have been, and we may have all been part of a team that is very tight, and it really makes a difference.
Yep.
I have seen that work for sure.
Cohesion, continuity, absolutely. What's up next, Charlie, for our...
So last but not least, we were trying to get this guy a couple of weeks ago when he stepped up to the highest level of refereeing in the HBSC sevens. I don't know what else you have to say there. We have Mr. Cisco Lopez. Cisco.
Hey.
Thank you very much for showing up. I know you just got off the plane.
Yeah, I literally just got back home. But no worries. I always have plenty of time
Awesome,
for
man.
rugby in Florida, for you, Charlie, and everything.
You know, many people just watch those games just to see you. I know that for a fact. No, really. It's so funny when you're watching a game and you know you're watching it because of the ref. It's
phenomenal stuff. But I must ask you a question.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal, mate. Where? What was the inspiration behind that one?
No.
Behind the mustache or behind the line?
No, the mustache and the line, I guess, as well.
Well, the line was Kat Roche. It was on her Instagram. She put it, and she just came with it right away. She's witty like that. But no, the mustache, it was just like during quarantine. Kind of just grew out the facial hair and just kept it. Yeah, because it grew out kind of nice. So I was like, I'll just keep it.
That's gonna take you places.
It will.
Yeah, it's identifiable. It's identifiable, which is good. It's branded. It's my brand now. So.
Yeah, you can always put your hair yellow also, but it doesn't look that good.
Yeah. Only sometimes. Only just not when I'm at when I'm on the circuit.
So give us a little recap of your, because we were gonna have you once you were after Vancouver. We couldn't do that. So just bring us up to date on your latest appointments, because it's been this 7th circuit and the MLR. So bring us up to date.
Yeah, so April 9th, I've had like a good, nice, long Pacific Northwest 3 weeks, which is, for anybody that knows me, was a cold time. Being from Miami is tough. So on April 9th, I went up to Toronto. I got to do Toronto versus DC Old Glory for an MLR game. Toronto's second home game of the season that they had. First home win. DC almost pulled it out of the clutches at the end, but some really good maul defense from Toronto after being put under pressure. Saw them finish. I think they won by 4 or 5 points, something like that. So really tight game. And then the next week right after that, so the game was Saturday. Sunday I flew to Vancouver because the refs would come in the week before the tournament. So I was in from Monday to the next Monday in Vancouver doing the men's sevens tournament up there. Got to do some pretty cool fixtures. New Zealand versus Japan was the first one of the day that I got. Got to do New Zealand versus England. Got to referee Dan Norton's last game. I gave him his last yellow card. I awarded his last try. So those aren't things that you're there hoping to get, obviously. But it's funny when you walk off the pitch and it's like, oh wow, like this was like you were a part of something like really cool. And I think for me, that's what's been like so cool about this trip. And so sorry, then the last leg. So then I had a week off in Seattle, and then just literally got off the plane from Langford, where I was there for the women's sevens tournament, where I also got to do some pretty firecracker games. Fiji, New Zealand ended in a tie, 12-12, and pool play. I got to award Portia Woodman's 200th try.
That's amazing.
201st. So it was so funny because I hadn't realized I was running after her, trying to keep up because they're wicked fast. So trying to keep up, and like all of her other teammates are like chasing her down. And I'm like, oh, is this like a team culture thing? And then somebody tells me, like, oh no, she scored her 200th try.
Wow.
And she's the current leading try scorer for the HSBC Women's Sevens. So that's been the last couple of weeks for me. It's been super sick. A lot of love to like have like all the support like from you guys, from people back home, folks who like I've stayed in their houses because I'm refereeing and I don't have anywhere else to stay. People who maybe I've only met on like one rugby trip. Like it just really points out, like, again, for me, what I'm here for, what it keeps me coming back to the next tournament is, or the next game and stuff is, hey Dad.
As the old man sticking his nose in there.
You love to surprise him. But it's and I mean, it's funny that my dad would come up when I say it, and like what the Boca boys were saying just now, it's about family, it's about community. And so for me, like the rugby community is one of the best, and it's different being a referee for sure. Like we don't have a team the same way that everybody else does, but that's what makes the Sevens so special, is we're in for a week.
I would disagree with you there, Cisco, because I've obviously spent a bit of time with you at these Rugby Americas North tournaments and all of that stuff. The tier 3, I haven't reached the levels that you're at yet, and got to go to the HSBC tours. But in those Rugby Americas North trips, and I've seen the referees, and quite often will quite honestly just go hang out with the referees because they look like they're having a lot more fun than everybody else. And I want to get your feedback on this. Is it because obviously referees get targeted a little bit and it's kind of like they're shunned to a certain extent? I don't know, but I feel like they're very tight when they travel together at these tournaments. There's usually sort of 10 to maybe 15 or as many as 20 sometimes, depending on the tournament size. And you kind of get together and it looks like a really tight knit unit. And I kind of want to just be involved and be your buddies, but I don't know if I'd be welcome.
No, you're more than welcome. Everyone is always welcome in the ref tent. It doesn't matter what level. It doesn't matter where you are. The ref tent is always welcoming to anybody. And I think, like, to your point, Gavin, like, it's always those sevens tournaments, and especially Ran. Like, I've got the really good opportunity to referee a couple of those tournaments. And, you know, you meet people for the first time on like the Thursday, and then you leave Sunday best friends, or like, you know, friends for life. And the conviviality, I think, like, it's interesting what you're pointing out too, of like trying to think about like, what makes a referee community that tight knit. I think part of it is because we do we're held to a high standard. We're held accountable all the time, and sometimes maybe unfairly so. A lot of the times, though, probably fair enough. And I think it helps to have not just community, but a support system to say, hey, can you, like, we do it all the time on the sevens on the circuit, like, hey, like after a game, like, hey, like, what do you think about this call that I made? And you know that they're going to tell you straight up, like, Cisco, I disagree. I think it would have been better this, or no, you're 100% right. That's where it is. Like, you're on the money there. So I think that having that sort of like camaraderie, that's the foundation to then being able to work together on the field, come off the pitch, tell each other how we tried to perform and stuff.
That's commenting here. We'd like to see Gavin and Cisco commentating rugby. That would actually be. I think referees would have a lot of input on commentating these bigger competitions, because you get a totally different perspective as a referee. My knowledge of rules and laws and, you know, the intricacies of it. I'm a rugby guy. Like, I just like to play the game or post the game. I really don't know much about the laws. You know what I mean? I have an idea so I can coach it so we don't make too many mistakes. But, you know, I think it would be a nice dynamic to throw in a referee. Not a bad idea.
I would love it. I've always wanted to do it. I did student radio at FIU when I was undergrad there, so it'd be super fun. Yeah, I know Dallin Stanford is another guy that I'm always like, hey, and I mean the commentators are also a good group of. They have a good community as well.
Exactly. But I mean, it's one of the things to talk about, and this is more of like an inspirational thing, I think. Someone like yourself that played a little bit of the game in your youth, and then you've got this career that you've built now, which I think is phenomenal, and I'm almost jealous of it. It's to the point where I think there's so many kids could be doing something that you're doing, and I'm sure it's not as glamorous as it seems, because I've been on your side of it. I know what it's like. It's never as glamorous as what it looks, traveling to wherever you travel to, and you know, you get the beach picture in the Bahamas or Singapore or Hong Kong or wherever you might be. But this is a fantastic way to be involved in rugby and making a living from it. It may not be millions of dollars, but it's a living, I'm sure, and get to be in this environment where, you know, you're traveling around the world and basically getting paid to do that. What's your perspective of that? Did you feel like that was something you were going to do, or it kind of just surprised you and popped up at some point and then you focused on it, or what was the pathway for you?
No, I think so. For me, like, very traditional pathway. I took the referee certification course, refereed some under 19 stuff when I was young, or under 12s, under 14s when I was younger, went through the traditional pathway. And for me, I was always just wanting to be a better referee every weekend, learn from the mistakes that I made, and try and be the best referee for the players on the field. Because that's what they deserve, all the players, all the coaches and stuff. And so from there, basically you get called up to like national group stuff, and like the RAN tournament is a big step from being at maybe the top national level to then kind of being on the outskirts of the international refereeing scene. And then from there, if you perform well, because it's all performance based, right? Like, this is it's again, like you're saying, it's really glamorous, it's really fun, it's really cool, but at the end of the day, it's also like high performance sport. And, you know, there's accountability. There's like, you are competing for a spot on the referee squad, even though that's like sounds maybe funny for people who aren't around referees a lot to hear. Like, we are competing against each other. It is, and we are very competitive people. And so, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I genuinely would have never guessed when I was, 16, 17, and I started refereeing, when I started refereeing full time, like in terms of the only thing that I was focused on in terms of my rugby commitments in college, I would have never guessed that I would be refereeing an MLR,
Yellow
on multiple
carding.
series stops,
Yellow
yellow
carding
carding Dan
down.
Norton. Like that's absolutely insane. And so yeah. And I think like what I would say too is to any like youth player, because I know like Florida, like the youth rugby is like growing like really well. Honestly, like just pick up a whistle. Like if it's something that like seems kind of interesting to you, referee some scrimmages, referee some under 12 stuff. Like it's both community service in a way, right? Like we need people to be doing those things so that it's not just coaches, so the coaches can be there and coach versus ref coaching, right? For those under 14s, under 19 sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, the biggest sell that I say isn't actually about the traveling or the who you get to meet. Like really for me, the biggest thing with refereeing is like it has changed who I am as a person, because I have to go perform. I have to look back at my review and I have to be honest with myself about how I think I did. And I can lie. I can try and like skirt the question. I can try and skirt. Like I had a conversation this weekend after one of my performances, not a bad performance, but maybe one just not up to the standard that I would have liked. And my reviewer was like, is that fair? Like, what do you think? I'm like, no, it's absolutely fair. Like that's the standard that I have. Like that's what I have to live up to. And to me, like that's another node of, it's the same thing of sport in general, but to do it as a referee, there's a lot of selflessness in it that I think is like super generative for like growing as a person.
Absolutely. Charlie, you've got to, this is a point that I don't know if you're aware or not, but the scrutiny that the referees have amongst themselves when it gets to that sort of world rugby level, even if it's tier 3 Rugby Americas North, there's usually an assessor is the word that they use. Yep. I forget the gent's name, English guy, I think he's from Bermuda, Balding. His name escapes me, but he's out of Bermuda and he goes to these tournaments and he's the guy that organizes the referees and they all get feedback and everything. That must be a difficult thing to deal with, because at the end of a day, or I think maybe you guys do it after every game at that level, you basically just get rushed into a corner and you sit down and review your notes. How does that pan out? I mean, it's got to be difficult for you.
Yeah. And again, I think it's half of it is holding again, high performance sport with sponsorship, with like money, with people's livelihoods on the line. Like a part of the review is accountability. So us putting our hands up and saying like, we weren't good enough on the day. Like we could have been a lot more accurate here. This isn't a yellow card because this, that, the other. But the other sense is like as well to sort of get the nugget from, okay, what did I miss out on the last game? And what's the one thing I can carry into the next game? To just like sharpen, just like I said before, of like what you want to do is just get into the next game and be better than the game that you just came off of.
So it's all about learning in the moment. I'm sure you've made the mistake, you learn from it, you go back and do it, again, and okay, now I get it right. And
and I mean, we're literally in that sense, we're the same as well as the players, where it's all right, next job. Like even like, and it happens actually probably more often than you guys think of, where there's a maybe a 50-50 decision or like a close call that you make. And if you stay thinking about it as the game's going on, you'll referee worse. And so you have to be able to just like, I don't know, like maybe like I went 50-50.
Screw it.
That's my judgment. And now I have to keep on going because that already happened. So now I need to move forward and get the next call. I need to make sure that I get the next one right, all the way up until the last play.
How many times do you watch the games after?
I'll probably watch my game anywhere between like 2 to 4 times.
Wow.
So and this is like watching it on. So a 15s game I'll watch twice max. I'll watch once all the way through taking notes, and then I'll watch again with those notes in mind and like making sure that I'm looking at the events that I'm looking for. For the 7s though, it's a little bit different. It's obviously easier. We get our film from our analyst that worked with World Rugby. And I'm able to like fast forward through the clips, and 7s is a little bit easier that you're working just breakdown to breakdown to breakdown. Whereas 15s can sometimes be not every breakdown's a breakdown you want to look at. So
do they use some kind of system with like you give yourself points for like good or bad, and you get a result at the end?
No, we don't
like
have
that.
So
that would be cool
for both MLR and for World Rugby. We use the concepts of non-decisions and errors. So you would have a non-decision is like something happens and you don't blow the whistle
Okay.
but you maybe should have, and that's a non-decision. So so that would be, for example, there's a high shot, but I don't see it, or or in the moment I don't think that it's a high shot, so we play on review. I would say, that's a tackle non-decision. And then you have errors, which are when you've blown the whistle, but you either shouldn't have or you blew it for the wrong reason. So that would be like tackle assist doesn't release, but then you still reward them for the turnover. That would be an error because they need to actually release. So you've blown the whistle, but you've got it wrong. So we work through those. The errors are worse because we would rather not get something wrong, or we would rather sort of not miss something, but keep playing the game with the momentum or with the dynamic that the game is having.
Yeah.
We would rather err on that side. That's not totally acceptable either, but we'd rather err on that side than blowing the whistle for something that didn't happen. That is the worst case scenario for us.
And that obviously affects your, I don't know if it's a point system, but that affects your performance rating, and then therefore maybe not getting on the tour the next weekend or things like that.
Yeah. For the most part, our performances are just contained within the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So if on game one, so like if you do, let's say you have a poor day one, then you might be considered for only a certain games for day two, but that performance wouldn't be anything for another tournament down the line. Okay. So it only stays within, which also makes it easy to say, all right, like we've washed our hands. Today's a new day. It's a new tournament. Yeah. We live again. We live to another day.
Yeah, you could be simply just having a bad day, a little bit slow. Now you got a cold or something in it, and then that affects it.
And I mean, and some people too. Like, I mean, for me, the travel was easy from going to Langford and to Vancouver because I'm in North America. Mm-hmm. But some of the guys going to Vancouver were in the Singapore stop. So they were like jet lagged for, most of the week up until basically kickoff was the first day that they were sleeping, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the difficulty too of like the world stages and the circuit is all the travel. And COVID hasn't made it any easier because they've done a good job in the last couple of years trying to keep the stops close together. So Dubai, Cape Town is in a similar time zone, even though it's a little bit far. Vancouver, LA, same time zone, pretty close. Sydney, Hamilton, similar time zones as well. So it was just tough this year that like when they rescheduled the Vancouver and LA stops, Singapore and Vancouver got put back to back, and it was tough.
Chris Vassell is asking which player were you most excited to see and meet?
Which player? Honestly, it was pretty insane to referee Dan Norton. I think especially knowing that it was going to be his last tournament. That's something that like I will not get for a long time. Like being able to award that last try and like knowing after the fact that it was also super special though. Like we were talking about right now, like being able to referee Portia Woodman and award her like 200th try. We don't really meet and talk to the players that much, honestly.
She also came back after some time, right? I think I heard.
I think so, maybe. I'm not certain, but
yeah, I think she'd been out injured or something. She'd been
probably.
Yeah.
But I think we don't get to talk to the players that much because since we're also our own team, we're kind of in our own space and we don't stay in the same hotels as a lot of the players. So a lot of the times it's more like you're refereeing somebody and you're like, you have a little bit of starstruckness, but you're like, okay, wait, I'm here to like work. I'm here to work. But for sure, those two for me were pretty crazy. And they're so fast. Like, honestly, they look fast on TV and I don't know how, but they're faster in real life.
I would just stand in the center circle and turn around. I don't understand why you guys run around so much. Oh, phenomenal. So, hey, but mate, congratulations on everything you're doing. It's been great to see you develop over the last however many years it's been since I first met you. It's and then obviously your dad maybe leading you into that and doing some phenomenal stuff, mate. It's I think it's an inspiration. My youngest son at one point was kind of like looking at you as, wow, he's kind of doing cool things. Maybe I should do that. I think he would probably make quite a good referee. But I think he's still got the idea that he's going to play properly. First, I think 100%. Like to what I said earlier of like younger folks like getting into refereeing. Like I think still play as long as you can because the hardest thing as a ref is to understand modes of play and like what the teams are trying to do. And so if you're a ref who hasn't played a whole lot, sure,
it takes a lot of studying. I have to watch a lot of film. I go out to the rugby ATL practices and referee their scrimmages, live scrum sessions and stuff like that. Like I have to do a lot of that to prepare for my games. But the more you play, the more you learn about the game, the more instinctual it is. Like you look at some of the former players who became refs. Damon Murphy refereed the gold medal match in Tokyo. Julianne Zussman has had like a meteoric rise, a Canadian referee, former like fullback for the Canada 15s women's team. Salika Winiata as well, refereeing on the series last weekend to another former player. So you don't have to choose one or the other, especially when you're younger, when you're doing amateur. So I would say let them keep playing, but definitely have them referee just every once in a while. See if they like to do this fun.
Hey, Cisco, at these events, there's no like after the games at the end, don't they have like a huge party and all the players go? Does any of that happen?
There are like tournament sponsored socials. Yeah, we do. Sometimes we don't end up going because we actually end up having a really, really big team by the end of the tournament because so you think about it, it's the 6 referees, and then we have 6 assistant referees. We have 6 tech zone people. We've got like managers, and so we're actually like a big group of people who a lot of us actually haven't had a whole ton of chance through the weekend to interact actually that much, like on a person-to-person level. So by the end of the weekend, most of us are pretty keen to like just have like a chill night in the hotel after a whole couple days of running and actually get to like know like, oh, okay, sweet. Like, yeah, we work together on these games, but like, where are you from? And what do you do? And again, the sort of like convivial family kind of feel that the referees can have.
Yeah, I was in the Bahamas the other week there for the Rugby Americas North competition.
So
and that was phenomenal. And everyone was super disciplined the whole time. And then Sunday night, the wheels fell off it. You know how it went. It was pretty well. It was an all-inclusive hotel as well. So drinks and dinner was all included. So you can imagine how that went.
I'm even more jealous. Gavin, take me to commentate next year.
Well, the thing is, mate, you've abandoned RAN because now you're at the next level. So I'm sorry, you can't come back at this point. You're done.
No, just commentate. I don't have to blow the whistle. And I can yell at them for blowing the whistle too. It'll be perfect.
If you're available, I would absolutely make sure that Niall Brooks, the GM of Rugby Americas North, gets your name on the list.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
We're always.
Yeah. And I know Niall since way back. That was my first international trip. I went out to the BVI to assistant referee them versus who was it? It was another like a small. It was like a smaller,
like a Barbados or Turks and Caicos.
Oh, actually,
maybe.
It was Barbados.
Was it?
Yeah.
Those are phenomenal tournaments to get on. So yeah, that's not a bad idea because we always struggle to get like a bit of a mix of the commentators. This one, in terms of diversity, this last one was phenomenal.
I heard some of it. It was great.
Yeah, there was myself and Brian Kelly, who basically produces it all, and then we had Fernanda from Mexico. Mm-hmm. So it was great. We had the Spanish, obviously, along with my Spanglish, and then Phaedra Knight. So in terms of diversity, wow, like World Rugby are just crushing it.
And what a legend too. Like Hall of Fame, like World Rugby Hall of Fame, Phaedra Knight on the mic is like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and now she's a fighter. So she put me in a headlock at one point in the commentary booth, which scared the living daylights out of me. She crept up behind me and gave me one of these, and I was like, whoa, what's that? I don't know what it was I said that upset her, but no, but she's good. She's good people. It was phenomenal.
So before we let Cisco go, I just want to remind everybody my prediction. We're going to see this young man reffing in the USA World Cup, which is probably going to be here in 2030 or 31 or 29. Mm-hmm. That's my prediction. I've always told Cisco since, long time ago, he's going to be reffing a World Cup.
So how old will you be by 2031, Cisco?
I'll be... Oh, that's a great question. I can't do math this fast.
Sorry, be on the spot.
He can't keep scores also. He has scores bad.
I'll be 36.
Okay, so you'll be in your prime as a referee. That's pretty much your prime, right?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And I'm going with him as his photographer.
Boom.
The personal photographer. Yeah, exactly. I forgot this was a part of the deal. I mean, honestly, as long as Charlie believes in me, then I know I can do it.
I've been saying this for years now.
Super cool.
Yeah, exactly. See, Pancho remembers.
There you go. It's right there. Charlie has said that prediction since 2012. Boom. Excellent.
Okay. Hey, Cisco, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you jumping off the plane and on the podcast.
No, always. Again, I always have all the time for you, Rugby in Florida, everything. It's great.
I think it's really interesting, all this stuff, and I think it shows even how this is top level, of course, but the same approach is what our local referees do. Of course, they have less resources, whatever, but it's the same mentality. And sometimes, people, on the sidelines, screaming at the ref. It's, they should try it. And I know for a fact that you guys take it very, very seriously. So, okay, man, we got another guest here to deal with.
Oh, another one.
Our last one. Well, let's bring him in. You want to hang around, Cisco?
No, I'll go. I'm pretty tired.
Okay.
Mr. Vassal, Coach Vassal.
Hey, Cisco, great to see you. Good job. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but we can't see you, man. You have to put light in your face, not in the background.
Yeah, this sucks where I'm at right now. Sorry. But hold on. Let me just keep that.
That's all that matters. Hey, that's all that matters this week.
He's a happy camper.
Yeah.
Congrats again.
Yeah, good stuff, Cisco. Good job, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, keep it up.
Man.
Cheers, Cisco. Ciao, mate.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Charlie and Gavin, great. Thanks for having me. I'm just going to take 5 minutes.
Always a pleasure.
with
Always a
all
pleasure,
5
Chris. You are from the house.
That's right, with all 5 of our viewers right now, okay?
Never
And
mind,
I hope this gets spread out even more and people get to listen to it. But first of all, thank you. Thank all of you guys. Thank all the coaches, Evan, the Florida Union, everybody, the parents. And thanks to all the teams this year that making that commitment to make Florida rugby where it is today. And most of all, 100% thank all the players from the little ones, boys and girls, all the way across. But it was a great season. And from what I heard on the podcast, the biggest theme tonight was what you said, Johan said, Charlie, you've been saying, that we need more teams. We need more teams. And how do we go about doing that? We don't have the answer, but we need the coaches. We need these coaches to commit. And just because their kids graduate, right? Don't leave the program and then that's it. Try to create more resources to keep it going because we need more teams in Florida, and that's what's missing right now. I mean, it was great playing 8 matches, but it would be great to play a little bit more and actually be more diverse, right?
Yeah.
So we need more teams, and especially on the girls' side, on the women's side, because that's kind of what we're missing right now, big time.
Yeah, it keeps coming back to that same thing where what the men's teams and the women's teams, get the high school kids out, get the. I mean, for me, it's about if you get the under 12s going. Then it happens organically. You don't have to do too much after that.
Because it keeps trickling up and which cascade effect and it keeps going. But the biggest thing, and also I forgot to thank the referees. They worked hard this year and what little we had, and the resources to help getting them trained and caught up to speed. I definitely am very appreciative of it and for them helping to make Florida rugby better, And that's the big thing. But I just want to close out and thank you guys for highlighting us all the time and doing the podcast. Charlie, you and Ross and Gavin jumping on board and doing the things
he's a traitor.
Yeah. and doing the things you do, but we need more teams in Florida and we have to do it right now. And I think collectively we need to get together this summer and come up with a blueprint that everyone can follow. It can't just be Okapi, Boca, Key Biscayne, the big guys, Wellington, just having the same thing. We need to share those kind of ideas and make it happen. Jacksonville is doing a great job with Aaron up there. I mean, he's just doing his best and getting the numbers, but I think if there was more competition up there, it will stop them from traveling everywhere, So we need to do it.
Kai's dropping you under the bus, mate.
Oh, Kai, I say it all the time, every time. You bet I'll do it. Last time you yelled at me for making a comment, and you know what Kai said? Thank you, Mr. Vassal, but I'm not going to listen to you because you're not certified. Thanks a lot, Kai.
That's funny. That's amazing.
But, at the end of the day, we need to grow. So that's the biggest thing. So
and you know what? Maybe we are in a good in a good moment because now that we have the FYRU, like, with the board and getting things together. It's a good time to, because as you said, you mentioned collectively. I think you're on right on spot with that, because it's not just one club or or the union or this. Now it's something we all have to work together. Probably we need some like leadership resources to help out, and have a plan. We don't have a plan. There is no plan.
There isn't.
There hasn't been any plans.
So I'm going to throw this one out there, guys. I did a lot this weekend with the state finals, and then on Sunday there was the combines for St. Thomas, and then there was the combines at Wellington for Florida Jaguares. And in amongst that, I bumped into a guy. I won't mention his name because it's pretty sure he told me don't spread the word, but I'm going to just blurt it out right here. Is that I'm told that there are documents that have been signed in the last couple of weeks for an MLR team in Florida, in Miami. It's done. Okay. It's a done deal. Now,
really?
Yeah, yep. And I think the aim was the 2024 season for that to actually happen.
Wow.
Boots on the ground.
Good.
So, and there's a certain location that is involved.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's all making sense. Yeah.
Oh, so that's why, because now you got this academy thing going on.
Oh, nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. It's just purely coincidental.
Okay.
But yeah, we're familiar with the Inter Miami crowd, and there's a lot happening there, and I'm told that there are documents that have been signed in the last few weeks. So
wow,
Florida
I would like to see them.
I definitely too. That would be good. That's part of it. That's growth, right?
Yeah. I think that will help a lot. Because once that's here, and it's not maybe just Atlanta popping in and out, or whoever else decides to drop into Florida to try and either pull players away or do whatever that's beneficial for them.
Yes,
there's going to be somebody on our doorstep that are presumably going to be working with the South Florida coaching staffs and
awesome. That's actually good news to hear, and that'll help us grow even more, which would be good, But I'm just amazed. I know you said this too, Gavin, and some of the coaches from Key Biscayne. I mean, everyone just watching these boys for the last 10 years and young girls. I mean, the skill set has just improved 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like. Now they're playing rugby, and Johan said it as well. Look at Cardinal Gibbons, like now they're playing rugby, and they're all their players are getting it and playing football, and they love it, And so that's one of the good things. And the football players are tying over, and the coaches are coming on board because they get it, they understand what we're doing. So please. Perfect. To close this, everyone, let's keep building. Let's get together this summer. Coaches, listen to me. Youth all the way up. More teams. Presidents, more teams. All right.
Absolutely. That baseball cap you're wearing, Florida Jaguares. I've got to put this out there next Sunday. I believe it's Sunday, right? We're doing the tryouts for the Jaguares. That's going to be game environment, and then Vassal, I'm sure you'll be in the selection process, and we'll start literally getting those players selected because it's Jacksonville in 3 weeks.
That's correct.
And then after that, I'm told that we're going to go to Colorado the following month. So it's that's happening next week. So all of those nominated players need to be there next Sunday. I think it's at Okapi this one, and then the training session in Naples the following week, and then we're all going to Jacksonville the week after that. So that's happening. Correct. And this is the platform for the best for kids from Boca, the best kids from Cardinal Gibbons, from Okapi, from Naples, Wellington, and all of the other ones up the north as well, Tampa. This is it. Selection times, crunch time for the season. The regular season's over. It's the All-Star tournament coming up, and this is the moment where we can put these kids on a platform and show them what Florida rugby players can do. So I'm pretty stoked.
And from that, Gavin, a lot of our kids were seen through that platform. Jaguares going out and getting recruiting and getting scholarships to colleges through these platforms. So, guys, listen to Coach Gavin. Jump on board, get there, be there on time, and let's make it happen.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Vassal.
You too. Always See you, Charlie. I'll see you next Sunday.
But
I'll see you Sunday.
You should jump in more frequently, man.
Hey, ever since you guys made that clown comment, I had to.
Oh my God, you're going back to that, man. You have to get over your grudges, and that was Ross.
I got to stick up for Steve Mattingly, man. Come on.
Oh, he's his own man. He doesn't need anybody to stick up for him.
I'm just teasing. Love you, boys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, bud. See you later.
Awesome. Always a pleasure.
Always
Bye-bye.
a pleasure. Thank you for a great season. All of you guys.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, Gavin, this is it, man. 2 hours.
That was a long one, mate.
Now I have to pay you overtime, see, because Ross really keeps it rolling, and
I just let people speak, and I'm happy to speak myself. But hey, mate, the highlight for me was having Cisco on, because I just fully nerded out when Cisco was on there. Like I'm sure that most people were bored, stupid, listening to us badgering Cisco. I really enjoy what he does, and I've seen him.
Absolutely,
I've seen him on different levels, as me being a commentator and him refereeing those games, and then I'm seeing him go to the next level and leave the sort of tier 3 and move on to the MLR and go into tier 1 rugby. It's phenomenal to see, and he's a local boy. So, and I'm sure even more so for you, because I'm sure you knew him long before I did, because you've been around Florida.
I knew him as a player.
Yeah, no, great stuff. I enjoyed it.
I actually, you know what? Let me tell you this. The first time I think I saw Cisco, this was literally the first youth festival that was done in El Doral here in Miami. This was 2009. And he was on the sidelines watching his brother play.
Okay. He has an older brother. I don't know if it's...
younger brother.
Oh, okay.
Cisco came into rugby way like 2 or 3 years after they started playing, but he would just go and watch his brother.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever met his brother. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Well, he just played like until U14s, I think. And
okay. Yeah.
Sort of faded away. So
phenomenal. Super interesting.
Really back, and I think if you like a little bit, as you said, a little nerdy, this kind of going behind the scenes is really interesting.
It's phenomenal, great stuff, and it is, and there is a certain amount of glamour to his job. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, I couldn't be a referee, but they get treated well. Like when they go travel, they're traveling in a team, and they have all of this sort of the nicer hotels, and they get their food, and they get well taken care of, because they've got to do a good job, so they've got to have good conditions, and they're little rock stars when they show up at these tournaments, and it's fun. Good stuff, Charlie. Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh, man.
Absolutely a good time.
Okay, I will keep you as my guest host when Ross, if he continues to be rebellious and not come back.
He must have signed some documents with the union or something to wants higher pay rate or something.
Hey, man, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
I'll see you around.
Cheers. Good evening.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Pancho. Shut the fuck up. Okay. So let me. I'm a little bit rusty here.